For the fitness junkies, it's being called the World Series of Fitness Racing. And now, Hyrox has arrived in Cape Town. The high-intensity global competition, which combines running with functional workouts, is drawing thousands of participants and spectators, from elite athletes to everyday fitness enthusiasts. Competitors are also lining up to test their strength, their speed, their stamina in this grueling race format. South Africa is the first country on the African continent to host the event. Vaylen Kirtley is, perhaps let's call it, tracking some of the action from the inside here. Vaylen, listen, you've got 1,000 meters of that ski machine. You've got 50-meter sled push, a sled pull for 50 meters at the very least. You have burpee broad jumps, 1,000 meters of rowing. Then you have 200 meters of kettlebell farmer's carry, a sandbag lunge of 100 meters, and then 100 wall balls. But in between all of that, you still have to run a kilometer between each of those before you finish. My goodness, where does one start?
Well, you've left me quite breathless, Arabile, with that intro, but can you imagine how these athletes feel? It is quite incredible. You know, if you think about sport and how sport as a tradition, South Africans love sport, but this is the sport for gym. For those people that love going to gym, for those people that are crazy about fitness. So you've explained to us the format of this racing. They've got it in different categories, for men, for women, in teams. If you want to do it on your own, Arabile, because I know that's actually what you want to do. You were reading all that to say, I am ready to get going. But it is loud, it is busy. Where I am at the moment, I'm just going to step out, is the warm-up area where all of the athletes are busy warming up before they actually begin the race. So it is loud, it is, you can sense all the energy, but it's also, I suppose, for me a little bit of a guilt trip, because among all of these very fit people, I am feeling rather guilty that I haven't been to the gym in quite some time. Mashidini is the MD for Hyrox South Africa. He joins us now to explain to us a little bit about this trend, and it most certainly is. Hundreds of thousands of people across the globe are getting into this new sport, which is known as fitness racing. A very good morning to you. Thanks so much for chatting to us, Mlundi. Can you explain to us how fitness racing came about, and then South Africa's addition to this trend?
Firstly, thanks to you and Newzroom Afrika for being here this morning. We're excited to be hosting our third race. Hyrox came out of Germany. It was started in Hamburg by two founders, Moritz and Christian. And really it was about finding a sport that can reach a lot of people, from cyclists to runners to people that go to gym. And that's what we're all about. We're about being the most accessible sport that there is, and we focused on reaching not just the biggest sports enthusiasts, but people that want to start their active journey, and that's what our sport is all about. This is our third race in South Africa. We launched in September last year, and our events have been growing since we launched. Our first event was 1,400 athletes. Our next one, which was early in March in Johannesburg, was 4,200 athletes. And this race is our biggest one. We've got about 7,000 athletes participating.
And this is also the first one that's over 2 days. Have you been quite impressed with the turnout?
Yeah, we're very impressed. We're actually overwhelmed. We've been working very closely with partners at the CTICC and at the City of Cape Town to get more capacity, because we've had overwhelming support. We sold out our event here in Cape Town in 2.5 days. So, and we've sold out our spectator tickets, which has been very disappointing to some of our community that weren't able to get the tickets early. But our aim is that we keep growing these events. We're looking to potentially do a 3-day event next time we do one of these. Our partners in Europe, they're doing up to 4-day events at the moment. So we see this as a sport that's growing, and as I said, we're trying to reach everybody. So we've got a lot of support from the country, which we're grateful for.
It's almost like the Olympics for gym fanatics, isn't it?
It's quite interesting that you said Olympics, because Moritz, one of our founders, he was the German captain for field hockey for 3 Olympics in a row. And his ambition is that we get Hyrox into the Olympics one day. And I know internally we've started the conversations and the application process to eventually get Hyrox to be an Olympic sport, because we see Hyrox more like running and cycling or triathlon, where people should be doing this for the next 20 to 50 years or foreseeable future, right? Everybody keeps saying, are you guys worried that you're going to be this one event that like shoots up and gets people excited and then it eventually fades away? And our ambitions are more aligned with Olympic sports, which have an enduring effect.
So with Olympic ambitions, why the name Hyrox? Where does this name come from for this fitness racing?
Everybody wants to know the answer to that, and it's interesting because Hyrox sometimes causes confusion because it's the name of our sport, but it's also the name of our brand. So we're quite protective about it. The name will remain a secret, but at the moment it's Hyrox and it's the sport that we like. The high part of it comes from hybrid, and then if you race one of our races, which I'm hoping to convince you to do, you'll understand the area behind me where all the athletes race. We call it the rock zone, so that's kind of the combination of the two. So that's the name doesn't really have this mystique that everybody thinks it does.
I was about to say, it sounds like another Bitcoin founders, Satoshi Nakamoto. There's a big secret, we're going to go and unpack it, but you've given us the name that is Hyrox, and South Africans are doing quite well at this. We've only had now 3 events here in South Africa, but we've had a number of athletes competing internationally.
Yes, we just came back in June. We had our World Championships in Chicago. Last year I went to the World Championships in Nice, and we only had 9 South Africans participating, but that was prior to us launching our races here. This last year we had 52 athletes coming from South Africa who had mostly qualified in our races. Yesterday I was doing prize giving, and we already have quite a few athletes that have qualified for next year's World Championships. So the sport's going well. South Africans are really good athletes, and we are seeing that in terms of our contingent that we take to the World Championships, and we hope to grow it even further next year.
So what is the fastest that a South African can get through the race? Our anchor in studio, Arabile, I've got a feeling that he actually wants to do this race as well. So I think you were doing a good job of convincing him. But he went through all of the different stations, the different gym workouts that you've got to do with the 1 kilometer runs in between. But what's the fastest that a South African male and female has done it?
Our fastest South African is a lady, Vicky McIntosh. You got me in the spotlight because I won't remember time correctly, and I will get questioned. I think it's around an hour and 2 minutes that she's done it in, and we've got a male athlete that's done it in just under an hour, around 59 minutes.
What is the average time that it would take? Maybe for me, if I gymmed a little more, what's the average that it will take to do it? And is there a difference between the exercises for men and women?
The exercises are exactly the same for men and women. The differences come with the weights, and the weights also change based on the category. So in each division, male and female, we have the open category, and then we have the pro category. So the pro category has heavier weights, and so yeah, that's the difference there. But in terms of average times, we look at about 1 hour 20 minutes to about 1 hour 30 minutes is what most athletes are doing. But of course, our sport is an accessible sport, so it's not really about the time, it's about finishing, and it's about the feeling that our athletes get after competing. So you're welcome to take as much time as you want, and we're here for everybody.
What is the first prize for the person that wins a Hyrox Cape Town and then goes on and, crossing fingers, the South African will soon win a world championship?
Yeah, so we don't do prize money for events. All our events end with a ceremony that we do in that area over there where you might see the stage. And the top 3 athletes in each division go on the podium, and we give them a flag that they can use for bragging rights. And then some of the specific events, the winners then also get their qualification for World Championships.
Lovely stuff. Being here, I've said it's loud. It feels like a party on a Sunday morning, but it also is a bit of a guilt trip because I need to get back into the gym.
That's what I think we're all about, is the experience of Hyrox. We normally see people that go to some of our affiliate gyms and they do all the workouts, and then when they get here, their minds are blown because we really put a lot of focus in terms of their event experience and what we have in offer in terms of, you would have seen outside, we've got our merchandise store, we've got some of our partners such as Kauai who are serving healthy meals to our athletes. We've got all sorts of entertainment with Red Bull, who's our drinks partner, but they also bring the DJ. So it is really a party, and we want everybody to come in either to participate or to spectate with the view of doing an event in the future. And we hope to see you in your shirts and shorts in the future doing the race.
Is the MD of Hyrox South Africa. Thanks so much for chatting to Newzroom Afrika. And as you can see, the guys are busy warming up on the skiers. This is just one of the exercises that are at one of the stations. There's some rowing to also get the guys warmed up. But it's 8 different stations and specific sets or distances that you have to complete at that station. And in between that, a 1-kilometer run. But it's incredible to see the amount of athletes, but beyond that, the amount of spectators. They were sold out of spectator seats for Hyrox South Africa, just to show that it's maybe a single person or pair event if you are actually racing, but the families are coming out in full support with banners, Arabile. So I wonder if you are convinced now, or are those muscles still a little bit sore after going through all of the exercises that you need to do a race?
Vaylen, I can promise you this much. I'll do it if you do it. How's that?
I will come back to you, Arabile. Thankfully, we've got a little way to wait before the next Hyrox race.
All right, thank you so much for that, Vaylen. It's certainly a whole lot of fun, it seems, as well.